Pick later. New York Yankees at 26, taking Ben Hess, a big old donkey from the University of Alabama. Roll Tide. He is 6'5", 255. Horrible numbers this year. Now, if you adjust for the hitting environment in college baseball, looks a little bit better, but a 5.80 ERA. Less bad. 5.80 ERA as a first-round pick in college, like that is easy to have Yankees fans go, he's a bust.
Yeah.
Can you talk about Ben Hess for a second? Because I bookmarked some Yankee fan tweets that I just want to read quickly about
Ben
this.
Hess, aesthetically, statistically, I can understand why you would, if you have not followed this at all, you'd be like, who is this guy? This guy stinks. And yeah, very inconsistent, and there is some risk here. But the stuff at his best, like early on in the season, he had some outings where it was like, oh, he's clearly one of the best pitchers in the draft.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of went off the rails in the SEC play, and so... But yeah, Yankees have been good at developing pitching, so we'll see what they can do with him. I really like the Bryce Cunningham pick, their second-round pick. I like Cunningham more than Hess. So I don't know if the bonuses are going to end up being probably similar. I wouldn't be surprised. But hey, two pitchers that I imagine they can help get better.
What I'm about to say sounds like a joke, okay? At SportsFan29, whose handle is just Gio or Shella, says, bad pick. Judge World 99 says, bust. Rick.
How's Rick feeling about Ben Hess? Was he locked in that April start against, Auburn?
Good grief. Another inexplicable draft selection. Cashman always thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. Draft history says otherwise. Great third baseman available. Nope. It's been an empty position forever. Literally every uneducated Yankees fan wanted them to take Tommy White, which is so funny because that is just not a good fit. Like, it's just not.
Oh.
The Yankees are good.
I'm sorry. You think Tommy White's going to shave?
Yeah. No way.
You think Tommy White's going to shave? You think Tommy White's going to cut his hair or shave, let alone both?
Yankees fans are like, we want the most famous person we've ever heard of, please. Also,
Right.
just one quick thing
exactly
here.
Correct.
Cashman always thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. There are a lot of reasons to critique Brian Cashman. He does not make the picks for the Yankees.
Yeah, that's not a secret.
Damon Oppenheimer, who runs,
he's
runs
involved.
He's involved. He's in the room, but more really than any other team. I can't really say that. Yeah, I can't say that. He is towards the bottom end of GMs making the pick, right?
Yeah, I think that's
critique Cashman for giving Aaron Hicks 7 years or whatever. Like, that's fine, but he did not. Like, don't put Ben Hess on him yet. Okay, Dante Nori at 27 to the Phillies. Fun fact here, Dante Nori's dad, Micah Nori, is the assistant coach for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And when the Timberwolves head coach during the playoffs got run into and tore his ACL, Micah Nori was the person who had to go and be the actual coach walking on the sidelines.
Dante Nori, one of the oldest high school players that I can really ever remember seeing. He turns 20 in October. That's not great. There are some teams that'll just basically automatically cross him off, especially in Michigan, where he's just beating up on mediocre competition. However, talented player. Did a showcase circuit. Speedy outfielder. Good, promising young left-handed hitter. Not young. Old left-handed hitter. Young-ish relative to the larger population. But that was an interesting one. They take Griffin Burkholder, another high school outfielder, later. You're kind of sticking your neck out there. These are very scouty picks for the Phillies. Those can go very well. Those can go very poorly.
They nailed one last year with Aiden Miller.
True. But that one was much more consensus, right? People really liked Aiden Miller, and that one was a little bit different. This one, we will see. Now, again, you're a Phillies fan. You don't care about this right now, and why should you? But which is fine. You're the only good major league team. So you have that. Don't worry about Dante Nori, Griffin Burkholder, but that is my opinion of their draft.
At number 28, Astros take Walker Yannick, a catcher from Sam Houston.
Yes.
Again, I'm going to do an irresponsible comp.
Oh.
Slightly less athletic version of JT Realmuto is kind of the style of catcher that we're talking about here.
Story time. I went to a wedding recently. I met a guy who was sitting at my table named Yannick. After a few drinks, I was like, we were chatting up. Awesome guy, baseball fan. And I was like, I got to tell this guy about Walker Yannick, like one of my favorite players in this year's upcoming draft. I'm like, I got to tell this guy he's going to be a first-round pick, and you got to get his jersey. You don't meet Yannicks very often.
Now, this guy's first name is Yannick.
Yeah, Yannick. His name Yannick. I'm like, oh my god, Yannick. Like I've been thinking about this guy Walker Yannick for the last year, and you got to find out about him. So I'm like, hey, dude, check this out. This dude, man, Walker Yannick. You got to see him. And he's like, yeah, I know about him. my name's Yannick Walker. And so, oh, I had no idea. I'm like, wait, what? And so he's like, yeah, I can't Google myself because this guy's just has my name in reverse. And all timer, and I was like, man, yeah. So you got to get his jersey, but that's the question, existential question for him, right? Are you rooting for this kid to succeed so that you now have this guy who just becomes, but then you can never Google anything related to yourself ever? Because
Probably healthy.
Like, yeah, probably that's fine, right? But whatever you're looking stuff, whatever. Or are you rooting against him?
I want to be Yannick Walker.
Yeah,
Yannick, comma Walker.
Right, exactly. So. We'll see. But shouts out to Yannick. Awesome guy. One of the funniest experiences I've ever had. And also, awesome pick, even though obviously here in Fort Worth, the Rangers fans were booing